As quick as cats.
Oh, good. Where are you guys going for your birthday dinner? I bet this is birthday dinner.
A place called Mezzaluna.
I don't know it.
You've not been?
No. I don't generally go out much. Okay, what's going on with this? It's broke. There it goes. There. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna run home and watch the game.
Yeah.
So.
You lucky duck.
Well, this is an important game. They need to win this one.
Oh, I'll text you every now and again to get updates.
Yeah. I did watch the Nuggets cream the Suns last night.
Wasn't that great, though?
That was fun. I mean, they really creamed them. It wasn't just a small creaming. It's a big cream. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Good evening, my fine friends, and welcome to meditation live stream on May the 10th. Amazing how time is zooming by. Pretty soon, half this year will be gone, so time is flying. Of course, our work is about the magic and the mystery of this most amazing thing, the star tetrahedron, that is the mystical marriage of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, that as it is being formulated in consciousness and light by our focus and our imagination and by our love, because love is part of the lower triangulation of the divine feminine, to love unconditionally. And to love unconditionally outwardly, we must be able to love unconditionally within. To find all those old programs that were given to us, not in error so much, but more choice by your soul, to gather information about how this particular dimension works within time space. As beings that emanated from Source, we are already perfect. The soul is perfect. It lives in a realm of perfection, more in what we might call a higher fifth dimensional or even seventh dimensional frequency. But within that particular dimension, there's not really free will. There is the emanation of the divine from Source, the codes of light and life. And because there's no time within those dimensions, there's only perfection that exists. And there's movement and there's joy, unfettered joy and bliss, but there's nothing really so much new and exciting. And so that's why the beings that we are from those higher dimensions, we decided that it would be interesting. It would be interesting to be able to have free will and be surprised at what we create. And then in that surprise, it would be every day is a new day. Everything is a new beginning, a wonderful new possibility. If you knew everything that was going to happen, it would be like reading yesterday's newspaper. Oh, I already know that's going to happen because it already happened. And you would be getting the same newspaper every day with the same information that you already know what's happening. Where is the excitement? Where is the joy? It creates boredom. And so that's why we, as these higher beings of light, we were somewhat bored, you might say, in always knowing where the streams of light were going, where the streams of creation were unfolding the next wave of evolution, so to speak. And so that's why we decided quite cleverly, I think very, very cleverly, to be able to formulate a dimension of time and space that we could then take a part of ourselves, just a part. And as that piece was then dropped down into time space, the joy and the possibility of it is that we could unite that higher dimensional self with the physical dimensions, which would then literally unite heaven and earth. And so we formulated this earthly plane with its denseness of materiality, where things are slow and the movement of changing materiality is somewhat somewhat difficult. It takes a lot of efforting. But as we bring more of the being that we are, that can simply focus light unconditionally, powerfully, and we love unconditionally and with great clarity and imagination in the future that's coming, rather than efforting and making and doing, we'll be able to simply focus the mind and then imagine and feel and create. And it will be new and it will be different. It won't be like being in the other dimensions of the fifth and the seventh, where everything is always known and everything is already created, so to speak. We will be able to bring that great creative light that's there and bring it into this dimension. And as we're doing that, you see, in that new evolution, and that's where we're evolving into that new awareness of, really heaven and light unified, if you will, within form. We will then be able to create. It will begin to create more magically, but it will still be interesting. because we'll be creating things that have never been created before. And so the possibilities of that, you see, are just wonderful, absolutely amazing and wonderful. It'd be like a painter, if you will, that had a beautiful canvas and a palette of all the colors that were just rich and vibrant. And all the painter had to do was reach down and take a particular color and imagine what the painter wanted, and there it was, voila, on the canvas. But the canvas, you see, then would be animated. It would be moving. It would have life moving within and through it. And you see, that's the exciting and joy where we're moving. We're actually moving into creating new life waves, new possibilities of animals, of evolution of life within form. So we may be at a point right now, so to speak, where the world and the world around us is destructuring, but it's all for the evolution of the new that's becoming. And that is why I sent out this wonderful little quote within the email that I sent out today, which I think is just so profound. I believe it's from Ramakrishna, who was an enlightened saint from India. And it really speaks quite clearly and beautifully to what the truth is. And the truth is, the whole universe is magically and mysteriously projected by the dream power of the Absolute, Source, God, whatever we should like to call it. It is the coherent, magical display of Maya, or illusion. It's just light dancing. The great goddess in her role as cosmic manifestation, that's the feminine principle. The original, if you will, was the Father that simply projected out light. The great goddess, as her role as cosmic manifestation, takes the light, and through love and imagination, she then weaves it into form. And so it's not just light streaming through the universe, it's actually manifestation and form and creation. This is what the mother brings. She is the birthing of light into all levels of form, be it from the higher seventh, eighth, ninth dimensional realities, clear down to this dimension of time and space. It's all the essence of mother or feminine energy. And we're seeking to unite it with the masculine of focused light. The energy of limitation is just as much an organic part of this universal magical display. And so that's where we are. We are within the energy of limitation. But it's just as much an organic part of this universal magical display. It is as magical as the energy of liberation. So most of us think, well, I want to be liberated. But in fact, you see, we've already come from the planes of liberation, and we're now seeking to unite liberation within form and use form in a creative way to be more, if you will, creative and filled with joy in what we can create. Rather than hanging out in the dimensions of pure light and being bored, we're now literally bringing liberation of light into form and using it to be a creator. We're not exiting the planet, we're bringing light into the planet. And so mother plays as knowledge and as ignorance. So I bow respectfully before both with palms joined. So what Ramakrishna is saying, that he understands that it's all just an illusion, and what we think is bad or wrong, it's really just ignorance that mother is using to gain information about how finally to become a dimensional creative source within physicality. See, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's all just life unfolding from ignorance to information. Beautiful word, information, moving into more light activation within form and creatorship. So I salute her tiger manifestation from a safe distance. Both worldly bondage, which we are somewhat within, and spiritual freedom are simply aspects of Mother's theater, Maya or illusion. which exists for no reason, not even for the education of souls, because this too is simply part of the divine play. Again, the universe miraculously projected by the dream power of the Absolute. Nevertheless, this divine drama is significant, meaningful, and complete beyond any human perception or imagination. It's just an absolutely beautiful quote from, I believe, Ramakrishna that lays the foundation of what life is really about and what's happening on our planet. That we're in this place of bondage and ignorance, we think. But as we learn through our meditation practice and through our spiritual awakening, we begin to realize that as we love ourselves more and more and find those old programs that were given to us as ignorance for our edification and for our learning, and we find within them there was simply something or someone that wasn't loved. And as we then love, we realize, well, I'll no longer use my power to manipulate. I'll no longer use my power to covet. I'll no longer use my power to take advantage, you see. And so through ignorance, one is learning how to use power appropriately. In the world right now, of course, we see, millions upon billions of souls that are still learning some of the more rudimentary lessons around just emotions and survival and power. But we who are gifted with a higher level of evolution at this time because of our movement down through time space, we've played those parts of survival. We played those parts of simply living in lower emotions and more animal instincts. And we've all worked with power, manipulation, and control. But we took that information and we informed our consciousness. And now we're moving more towards freedom. And the freedom is simply love. I so love myself, and I found in all that I've ever done, it was simply parts of myself that are wanting or needing, I thought, money, but it was God's source within. I thought it was relationship, but it was really relationship within me. And as we find those things and then simply surrender and love ourselves, we then begin to feel a real deep communion with all of life. I was talking to a very good friend of mine this weekend up in the area of Sacramento that we went to visit. And I was telling him, he said that he was quite lonely. And I said, what's I found over these years of learning to love myself so profoundly and so deeply that I literally feel the breath of spirit everywhere. It's within the tree, it's within the human being, it's within the bird, it's within the air. It's simply, you're living in an ocean that is spirit breathing everywhere. And so how can you feel alone when you're living in the ocean of oneness every moment? It's a joy to come share in relationship with people and to hug and to love and to be in communion. But at the same time, when I'm, what you might say, alone, I'm never alone. I'm never lonely. And that's because I've been fortunate enough through my dedication and discipline to find, well, what inside me was lonely. And it was a little boy who wanted to be loved unconditionally. It was a program that he didn't receive from parents and society, but that's what I chose. You see, we all chose these programs to learn and inform ourselves about self-love. And so I was telling this individual that as more you really trust yourself, you then trust the spirit of source or God is breathing every moment through you. And then there's a real relaxation into life and a loving. So this is the great place that we're in, you see right now on the planet. And that's why I thought this particular quote was so important. Because we see a tremendous amount of destructuring taking place. Some of it looks violent, some of it looks very unconscious, some of it looks tragic, some of it looks difficult. I agree 100%. But at the same time, those individuals are choosing those situations to inform themselves in some way that we're not really capable of necessarily knowing why. But we can well know, because every choice we've ever made in life, and we've learned to love ourselves from that difficult situation, we look back and we thank ourselves for it. Well, that was tremendous. I just love that situation that I learned from. And so everyone that's going through these difficult things in the world, we observe it. We have great compassion for it. But at the same time, as we learn to love and know really more and more, it's just source through the play of Maya, the play of illusion, playing with ignorance, moving towards liberation, but it's all just a play. And that play is simply source, dreaming creation. And because we are part of the dreamer, and now we can move toward literally dreaming within form, because we're uniting the divine being that we are on high in and through this dimensional body. We can then go forth in the future and really create a heaven on earth magical experience that's never happened before. And so we are at the very cutting edge. We're really pushing the envelope, you see, of creation, because we came into ignorance, limitation, and now we're moving into creatorship. Not liberation out of the body, back in the planes of light, but bringing light into this dimension. So very exciting work we're involved in. Of course, one of the things that assists us greatly is our breath work in this, because we're learning how we can breathe in source from the open doorway from the work with the star tetrahedron. As we begin to formulate more and more this beautiful union of divine masculine power and love, we realize it begins to open a sacred doorway within the very middle, and that's within the area of the heart chakra. And then arising forth from out of it is literally spirit, the essence of life. There's a beautiful quote in the Bible that said, and then God breathed into man, woman, and there was life. Because this breath is literally the spirit of source. It's the spirit of God. And so as we're creating, you see, with our manifestation, focusing light and imagining, it's from the breath of life within, you see that it gives spirit, life, and light. Excuse me. So let's do about 5 minutes of deep belly breathing, and with the in-breath, we're then summoning from out of the open doorway the breath of spirit. And as then we gently exhale, we're letting the sense of the aura, we're feeling it expand around us. We're letting go of such a strong identification with the physical body, and we're knowing that around me are the planes of light and life that I also exist within. And the body is my great illusion of dancing within form. So let's breathe. We like to have the spine nice and straight. It is the rod of initiation. The 7 chakras, which were once the rainbow colors, they all become perfectly balanced to become gold. And there is the golden rod of initiation up the spine. For we know when we hold a prism within the light, the gold reflects into all the colors. And so gold is the harmony of creation. The colors are the dance of creation. And we breathe in deeply, summoning source from the open doorway. We might hold for a couple of counts, and as we exhale, we allow our attention to move beyond the body, that we exist simultaneously around the body within the fields of light. and we breathe. I am the breath of life. Breathing source from the open doorway within the heart. To become sparkling, effervescent sunlight filtering through the body to the dimensions of light and mind around the body, and like rays of living sunlight out into the world. I am the light. Breathing with effortless ease from the open doorway. Feel any tension in the body and let it go. Breathing golden sunlight and peace from the open doorway. Source, God I am. And with a couple of more deep, slow inhalations of source. Sparkling, effervescent light all around. I am the light. In our meditations, as we are formulating the star tetrahedron, divine masculine power and divine feminine love united through the focusing of attention of the mind and the imagination. It begins to create this light wave form within, through, and all around. And as we're then, of course, breathing out from the open doorway, we're finding that over time the body feels less dense. We can even begin to feel as we're meditating that there's a softening, almost like an expansion that's taking place. And it's not so much that the body is itself expanding, we're allowing our consciousness to be placed really where it lives, which is around us. It's the field of divine mind around us that is holding the body in a molecular suspension. And then we so identify with the body and we feel the denseness of its physicality, that it feels like it's dense and solid. But in fact, as we're then really feeling in our meditation, I'm really allowing myself to expand and feel myself out here. It's not a disassociation. So we're not disassociating up above to the planes of light. It's really just as you look at, there's the front, there's the back, there's the right, there's the left, there's the up, there's the down. And so we're literally allowing ourselves in all those dimensions to feel ourselves present. And in that presence, you see, we're just expanding to really feel it's just this fullness, completeness all around. So begin to play with that in your meditation and the meditation we're going to do this afternoon. So I'm going to take you through the formulation of the star tetrahedron, the focusing of the light of the mind, the imagination within the heart of the star, and then the opening doorway to breathe light and life into this dimension. So we can close the eyes and feel the body relaxing. The breath becomes an important part of our daily life. Observing breath, mind is silent. Observing breath, body relaxes. Tension with things in the world fall away. And as I breathe and relax, I let go. Within the peace, I bring my attention between the eyebrows. Imagining I can draw a line straight back to the approximate center point of the head. The seat of the soul, an outpost of divine light from on high. And focusing attention here, I feel the light increasing. I am the light. My identification becomes the soul I am, pure and perfect, bringing light into this dimension, which I gently focus to the heart chakra at the sternum, where I image in the star tetrahedron in front, in back, and all around. I am the star. And as the triangulations rotate, we can feel the doorway within the heart chakra opening. And source, spirit arising forth, the living breath of life. a dimension into the void where all creation exists, waiting to be illuminated into this dimension by creator beings. I feel grounded and safe as I allow myself to move into light activation. Showering golden liquid light out into the world, changing the frequency of creation through my love and light. I am the light. I will join with you and we will create a magnificent wave of light, peace, and joy, illuminating the illusion. Feel the expansion of your consciousness around. I am the living star. And welcome back into the now. So I would encourage you to read the couple of quotes I did. I sent out the email a couple of times. They have such deep, profound implications of truth and wisdom within them. I think that you'll find a lot of joy in really owning within your heart those truths, that it's all just an illusion, that we can have great joy in observing and not get lost or attached to what's going on out there. It's only perfection revealing itself in the dance of light and dark shadows, my friends. So peace be with you, and we will see you in 2 weeks.